This is how you truly know if therapy is working for you. Many of the clients that I work with, they come from an entrepreneurial background or a high performance career, such as whether it's a doctor, lawyer, engineer, maybe they're the CEO or the COO of a company. These are typically the people that I come with, and with those high stress positions comes with things like anxiety, depression, stress, anything that you can imagine. A lot of these people come to me because they've tried. They tried the self help books, they tried the courses, they tried maybe seeing coaches, right? And all this stuff that they've done has not led them to any progressions, any improvements, or anything like that. So they come to me and we end up talking, and I end up giving them the skills that they need so that they can start to see the progressions in their life that they want. Now, here's the thing, a lot of these people that come see me, because they're such high performance individuals, they suffer with this one thing that you probably suffer with as well, and it's called perfectionism. Perfectionism is that one thing that keeps people on the fence of, do I do it, do I not do it? If I do it, what would people think? Or when they put out certain work, they may think, oh man, I totally messed up on this word, the sentence, this sketch. And as a result, they go into a tizzy, right? They go into a tailspin. And what I tell these guys is that, hey, obviously we want to be perfect, but there's not too many people that you and I both know that has been perfect. Everyone that you've looked up to, everyone that I've looked up to, they struggled at some point in their life, and they've overcome those struggles without having to be perfect. They were just good for long, consistent periods of time. And because of that, they are in the top 1%. So what I tell one of my clients is that you just can't tap out right now. You just got to keep pushing. And by doing that, they get the things that they want. But that's not what this conversation is about. What this conversation is about is, how do you know that therapy is working for you? How do you know that you're improving? And I wanted to point out perfectionism because that's the one thing that keeps people thinking that they're wasting their time, they're wasting their money when it comes to therapy or when it comes to coaching or whatever it is that you're doing. So what I want to do in this podcast is I want to give you 3 indicators that's going to show you whether or not you're improving or not. And the first one is frequency. When it comes to a thought, a feeling, or a certain action that you may take, I want you to look at how many times before therapy were you doing this action. So let's just take smoking. If you were to tell me before therapy you were smoking a pack a day, and 3 months into therapy you're down to maybe 2 or 3 cigarettes a day, I would say you've made progress. You're not perfect, but you've definitely improved. And if you keep going for another 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, you actually find yourself getting to that point where you're not smoking anymore. But that's what progress looks like. And it's not perfection. But if you're of the mindset that, hey, I've been to therapy for 3 months and I shouldn't be smoking, or if I've been to therapy for 3 months and I shouldn't feel sad, I would tell you you have unrealistic expectations. And that's the one thing that's going to actually send you back to self-sabotaging because you think that you wasn't able to do it all along. And that's where people get stuck. It's like, I'm not perfect. So they go in the completely opposite direction. And now their lives really looks like the way that they thought, right? Not good enough. They're not where they want to be, right? All these other different things. So that's number 1. Number 2, you want to look at the intensity, right? And I love talking about anger when it comes to this, but there's other emotions or even thoughts that I can talk about. But when it comes to anger, there's actually 3 levels of anger. And I would tell you to Google Pluchet emotion flower, okay? You're going to see this flower with different emotions. You're going to come across anger. And within anger, you're going to see 3 different levels, okay? So in the inner core, where that emotion is the most powerful, you will see rage. And this is where we talk about things like road rage, where someone cuts someone's off, they get out the car and they start shouting, and then unfortunately someone gets hurt. That's what road rage looks like. It's like when anger just completely takes over every part of your being, and then 3 minutes later, 5 minutes later, you look up and someone's hurt, or you did something that you wish you wouldn't have done, right? So that's a really, really intense version of anger. The second level is anger, okay? And that's a common emotion. We all feel it, even myself. And I know that when I feel anger or even anxiety, right? Believe it or not, I still get anxious at times. I know that this is not an indication that all the work that I've done before is not working. It just means that I'm human, guys. All right, so that's the middle level. And then the least level, right? The most outer level of anger is annoyance, okay? And we've all been annoyed. I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and growing up, they used to annoy me all the time. And for you, you may have something that's annoying you. It could be that same driver that cut you off. Hey, it may just be annoying, right? It's not something to get out your car or to try to cut them back off. It's just an unfortunate event, and it's going to fall off your memory in a few moments, if you will, right? But those are the 3 levels. And I want you to ask yourself, how intense has my emotions of anger, sadness, anxiety has been since I started therapy? Because believe it or not, when you come to therapy, our goal is not to make you perfect, it's to make you more in alignment to the person that you need to be. I can even say the goal is to make you more human, right? So if you were to tell me before therapy, I was thinking about taking my own life, and now I'm at the point where I may be sad for a day or two, I would tell you, hey, we're making progress. As a matter of fact, as a therapist, we're taught that we can only diagnose someone with depression or anxiety if they've been experiencing an emotion, right, and a subset of symptoms for at least 2 weeks, all right, for at least 2 weeks, all right. Now, there's some tests that you can take, and you can take these for free right now. It's called the GAQ and the PHQ. I believe those are the names. One may be the GAD. I believe it's something along those lines. And I'm sorry that I'm not I don't know the exact name for them, but one is for depression, the other one's for anxiety. You can take those right now, and then you can go to a therapist, do some therapy. If you want to read a self-help book, you can do that after a few months, right? Retake that test and see what your scores look like. And we'll see if your scores lowered, right? Or if they stayed the same. Sometimes I even ask my clients these simple questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being that I'm really depressed, thinking about taking my own life, and 1 being that, hey, I feel okay, I feel fine, things are going well, where are you? And they'll give me a number. Sometimes it may be at a 7. And then we go through therapy, and then I come back to that same question, and they may find themselves at a 3. That shows that we've made progress, and that's what we want, okay? So the intensity is what we want to look for. So frequency, intensity, and the last one is duration, okay? So when you find yourself sad, angry, or let's say you're getting addicted to some type of substance or whatever the case it may be, ask yourself, how long are you in this space? When a negative thought crosses your mind, such as I can't do this, how long are you consumed? How long are you hooked by that thought? If you used to be hooked by that thought for days on end, or if you used to break your habits for a week straight, I would ask you after therapy, look at how often, right? Look at how long you find yourself breaking those habits. Because if now you find yourself missing 1 day of the gym, but you're able to go back the next day, great, awesome. I would even say if you're going to the gym for, let's just say, 20 minutes, when normally you go for an hour and a half, I would tell you, you're doing well, you're doing awesome, right? We just want to look at how long are these emotions and thoughts consuming us. And that's going to give us a great example of whether or not we're making progress or if we're staying stagnant. And these are just simple ways, a simple framework to help you to see whether or not therapy is working for me. So again, it's the intensity that we want to look for, the frequency, and the duration of a thought, feeling, or action. Use these and it will show you that you're actually doing well rather than being perfect, right? Because perfect is just a myth. It's something that people strive to be. And again, that's fine, that's okay. But know that your self-worth is not dependent on whether or not you're perfect or not. Your worth is what you say it is. And when you're making progress, you're doing a damn good job. So with that being said, my name is Coach Wells. I'm a licensed therapist. Thank you for checking out this podcast. And don't forget to subscribe so that way you can get more information like this. All right, guys. I'll see you later.